Rainbow is good bread. Today's program will be a very special program, and certainly I want you to call a friend and tell your friend that Clara Luper is on the air. I have a big story about Tabernacle Baptist Church that I don't want you to miss. Certainly, you cannot afford to miss it. This is November, and in November we take time out and say thank you. We take time out and say thank you for what you have done for the past year. Yes, this is November, and this is a Clara Luper radio show. I have good news for you today because at Goodyear Tire and Service, located at 23rd and Kelly Street, big things are happening. Things are happening to your automobiles. Good things. And you're asking me what? Yes, you can buy automobile tires at competitive prices. You can get your tires balanced, computerized Hunter spin on the car, static balancers, complete brake service, all at Capital Tire and Automotive Incorporated. They have the most sophisticated equipment for front-end maintenance, and they are using it. They will clean your car. They will change your oil, and they will lubricate it. They will repair your flats, give you free transportation to work while your car is being serviced. Now, if you want that, all you will have to do is to call 23rd and Kelly, the Goodyear Tire and Service, known as the Capital Tire and Automotive Incorporated. They have a nice warm atmosphere and a waiting room for your convenience. If you want to wait, you will be served free coffee. Now, it's not surprising that Mrs. Lois M. Felder would give special, extra care to the beautiful young ladies because Mrs. Felder understands what women have gone through the years. She is the president of the Capital Tire and Automotive Incorporated. And this is a week that I want you to go by Miss Lois M. Felder and tell her that Clara Luper and you are proud of her. And this proudness must be shown in the cash register as you purchase your tires at the Capital Tire and Automotive Company. It was Saturday. It was a date that we shall never forget. November the 2nd, 1986. We, along with hundreds of others from Oklahoma City and across this country, went to Boley, Oklahoma, where the sun was shining brightly, but where hearts were deeply grieved. Mr. Everett, better known as Jack Davis, went home to be with his God. So it was that Jack Davis, the youngest of 14 children, went home to be with his God. Some of the people in Boley called him Deacon Davis, and others Brother Davis. He was a member of the New Hope Baptist Church, a faithful member. He was married to the lovely Louise Crittenden, and to this happy union, 3 children were born. Yes, Deacon Henry Relaford led an old-fashioned song as only Deacon Relaford could do it. And then Reverend Tomlin yesterday read the scripture, and the choir so beautifully sang, Peace in the Valley, and then there were resolutions. And Miss Kay Grace sang, My Heavenly Father watches over me. Mr. L.G. Ashley spoke for the people in Boley, Oklahoma. He told the audience about the real Jack Davis, the farmer, the father. He talked about how Jack Davis educated his 3 children who are now educating others and leading educators in the Oklahoma City area. And then Reverend Jasper Stevens, the pastor of the Antioch Baptist Church, delivered the eulogy. It was a eulogy that will remain in our memories for a long time. He talked about the great Christ. I am the resurrection and the life, he continued to say. And then it was a farewell view. And Mr. Davis was laid to rest in the town that he had lived in all of his life. He was buried at the East Lawn Cemetery in Boley, Oklahoma. Sometimes you ask a question, what does a family think of a family member? And I want to share with you today what Jack Davis's family said about him. From his family, it's written, to my husband, father, brother, uncle, grandfather, great-grandfather, and friends, must we say goodbye? If we must, let us say it today. But we will forever remember yesterday. Your warm smile, encouraging words, determination, compassion, understanding, kindness, tenderness, friendship, wisdom, and above all, your deep, sincere, and undying love. A promise from the family, we will carry on in your absence, and in all that we do, we will be remembering you, the Davis family. This funeral services was called a homegoing service, and Mr. Jack Davis was described with the following adjectives: energetic, very sincere, eager to help, reliable, easygoing, trustworthy, and truthful. Just in all things, always giving, caring, kind, devoted, always dependable, virtuous, independent, and sensitive. What a pledge. What a results. The pallbearers yesterday, Matt Evans, Cornell Grubbs, B.C. Henry, Floyd Hill, Charlie Holloway, and incidentally, he's the father of Dr. Holloway at Langston University, Ralph Jones, Lionel Kelly, Junior Marzette, C.J. Turner, Richard Williams, James Wilkins, Drew Perry Ventures. The flower girls carried those lovely flowers. Azaline Bradford, Lorene Forche, Marshalline Haddock, Mary Etta Hill, Quietta Holloway, Gladys Johnson, Jackie Carter, Lorenzo Parker, Bernell Stevens, and Nardine Tryon. And today, those of us here at KAZ extend our sincere sympathy to Mrs. Louise Davis of Boley, Oklahoma. To the pride and joy of Jack Davis's heart, Charles Everett Davis, a teacher in the Oklahoma City school system, a well-known basketball coach at John Marshall High School. To the lovely daughters, Charlotte D. Young and Evelyn D. Shelley, all of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Yes, it was goodbye yesterday to a Boleyite, a true lover of humanity, Jack Davis, better known as Everett Davis. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and certainly at this time, the Raw Funeral Home would like to wish you a happy November as we go into the gratitude services. Did you know that Raw Funeral Home has been in business for 50 years? This is the 50th year. Raw Funeral Home is located at 801 Northeast Roth Street. It's Roth Street, named after the founder of the funeral home. And Raw Funeral Home celebrating 50 years of business here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's really interesting to look at what we have in Oklahoma City. We have some of the finest morticians in the world. Look at McKay Davis, located at 1616 Northeast 36th Street, one of our outstanding morticians. And how can we help today as we talk about businesses in Oklahoma City? Think about Mr. Temple and Son. The Temple and Son, located at 2801 North Kelly, Oklahoma. North Kelly in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. There you have our top funeral homes in the Oklahoma City metropolitan area. What are you planning for Thanksgiving? Let me tell you a story. I have a story here that I can hardly wait to tell you because it's unusual, it's unique, it's different. Sometimes we read the Bible, let the glory be unto God, and we do nothing. Sometimes we read, for I was hungry and you gave me meat. We don't do anything about it. But there's a lady in Oklahoma City that read the scripture. It says, as you do to the least of these, you've done it to me. And this year, Mrs. Izora Robertson, a member of the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, located at 2201 North Prospect, Pastor Reverend S.H. Evans, will be given away for Thanksgiving. And she will give it on November the 23rd. 100 food baskets. Now, I want to make this clear. This is not the church. This is Mrs. Izora Robertson, who will be giving away 100 food baskets to the needed. Now, if you are in need, if you're really needed, and Mrs. Robertson is not going to run a test on you, it's going to be left to your own integrity. That's on November the 23rd, 1985, and will start at 11 a.m. to 4. 100 food baskets to be given away. She believes what she read in Matthew 25:35, the 25th chapter, the 35th through the 40th verse. Congratulations to Mrs. Izora Robertson of Oklahoma City, who's giving away, and this is not the church, this is an individual member who believes the story. Yes, how much do you believe? And certainly I can hardly wait to tell you about a Christian lady giving away 100 baskets of food. Do you want to save some money, some gasoline and time? Then go to the Enterprise Square place. Oh, what a deal. You will be glad you did. 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue is the place. It's called Enterprise Square Place. It's first class, and you are safe at last at Enterprise Square Place, 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. One stop does it all. It's time for you to buy your license tag. Go to the number one tag agency, located in Enterprise Square, 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. You want to buy some stamps or you want to mail some letters? Go to 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. You want to get your clothes clean? Go to Sherry's Cleaners. Put them in the morning and pick them up in the evening. You want to do your laundry? Go to the laundromat. That's 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. You want to do your laundry where you will have the first class laundry tubs? Don't worry. Go to 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. That's the place, and don't you forget it. So many of you call me and tell me you don't know where our businesses are on the east side. You don't know what we are doing. Well, let me tell you. The Watkins Stevens Skyview Convalescent Nursing Home is a clean, modern home for the sick and the aged. They have 24-hour nursing services. Mrs. Betty R. Lynch is administrator. Reverend Johnson was talking about what a fine place it was, and he is certainly right. Mrs. Buggs is a director of nursing. Phyllis Chambers, a secretary, all at the Watkins Stevens Skyview Convalescent Nursing Home here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And just a personal letter. Mrs. Betty R. Lynch would like to thank what she calls the finest staff in Oklahoma for the services that they have given. And she would like to thank you that have believed in the nursing home, you that have supported it through the years. Thank you so very kindly. It's easy to say thanks because this is the Thanksgiving season. And you will be thankful that you went to M&J's Furniture, 910 Northeast 4th Street here in Oklahoma City. You were looking for something very special, something to complement that special room of yours. Perhaps you were looking for an unusual and unique accessory to enhance your decor. Then it's not surprising that you would stop by M&J's Furniture, 910 Northeast 4th Street in your own neighborhood for the finest in-home furnishings and accessories at prices that you can afford. Open every day except Monday and Sunday. That means they are open Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now they are closed on Sundays and Mondays. Remember, M&J's Furniture Company, 910 Northeast 4th Street. Tell them you heard it on the Clara Luper radio show and they will give you a 10% discount. Yes, this is a time of gratitude. And certainly, how can you say thanks? Especially to Mrs. Stales of the Stales Restaurant. Have you been there lately? If not, I would like for you to go and get some real soul food. Mrs. Stales make the best lemon and potato pies in Oklahoma City. Now, if you want to taste some lemon pies, go to Stales Restaurant, 1100 Northeast 23rd Street. It isn't surprising that every year all of the contestants from all over the state want to go to Stales Restaurant here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Let's continue to talk about businesses in Oklahoma, especially in Oklahoma City. Let's talk about the Prince brothers, the founders of MAPCO. MAPCO is located at 2035 Northeast 23rd Street. That's just one location. MAPCO is located on Penn and Western. That's 10708 Northwestern. MAPCO is located in Choctaw, Oklahoma, Southeast 29th and Hennessy Road. MAPCO. For all of your auto supply needs, go to MAPCO. MAPCO, operated by those fabulous Prince brothers. What a day. As we talk about businesses in Oklahoma City, do you know Mr. Nash Mitchell of the Nash Mitchell's Bonding Company? Nash Mitchell telephone number is 427-2862 or 427-8199. Now, his office number is 427-8199, located at 2319 North Lottie Street here in Oklahoma City. He can make city bonds, county bonds, and federal bonds. Don't forget it. As we talk about people in Oklahoma City, certainly we should talk about Dr. A.L. Dow. And so many of you say, Clara, I'm really glad that you told me about Dr. A.L. Dow. I call him my eye doctor, but he's an ophthalmologist and he is the top. Dr. Dow can look at your eyes and tell you exactly what's right or what's wrong. Did you know that sometimes you can have a physical condition that can only be diagnosed after looking in your eyes? Well, Dr. Dow, located at 904 Northeast 8th Street, telephone number is 235-0536, can really do it up for you. This is a program where guests appear weekly, and today I have with me one of the outstanding educators in the Oklahoma City school system, one that works with the health department in the educational school system. Did I get it right, Anna Slaughter?
Somewhat right, Clara. I do teach students about health, trying to influence them to go into the health field.
Why should anyone go into the health field?
For the simple reason that beside being able to make a good living, one can also get self-satisfaction of helping their fellow man when they're in need.
Oh, that's a good reason. But what does it pay financially?
Financially, it's a very high-paying positions that the students can, get when they go to college, or just coming out of my program, they can earn more than, say, the minimum salary wage. But we don't want them to stop there. We want them to go on to college or go on to another skilled area and get more education so that they would be better prepared to help people.
That's really interesting. I would like to go up to Shaw's Siesta Motel and send a telegram or a night letter to everyone in Oklahoma City. Did you know that you can go up to Shaw's Siesta Motel, located at 1921 Northeast 23rd Street, and send telegrams, money orders, or what have you? And that should be a special that in Oklahoma City, in the Oklahoma City school system, you have what now?
Okay, we're not really in the Oklahoma City school system. We're in Votech District 22, and we're located at 4901 Southeast Bryant Street, Foster Estes Area Votech School, where we are preparing students for real life, for going out there and getting a job and becoming responsible citizens.
Where is that center located?
It's located at 4901 Southeast Bryant in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Do you have very many students that are interested in that kind of program?
I have an awful lot of students that are interested in the health field, but they really don't know where they want to go. So this is the year that they will find out what they really want to do in the health field.
Now, yesterday, which was a teacher's off day, and I found that you were working yesterday. Tell me what you did.
Well, I was working, Clara, because we have to teach our students to be leaders in the community. So the first week in November, we have a leadership conference for children from all over Oklahoma. We bring them in, and we try to teach them those qualities that will make them leaders in the community.
Were you successful yesterday?
We were very successful in helping those kids, and it's just marvelous to see these leadership qualities that the children have. It's marvelous to see them evolve.
All right, now what age children are you talking about?
I work with juniors and seniors in high school. All our programs are juniors and seniors in high school or post-secondary, which are adults.
Well, that's quite interesting, and I would like to wish you a lot of success. Letty has a question for you.
Yes, indeed. Let me see. I want to ask, on last week, we mentioned about something going on at Fifth Street next Sunday. And I'm just wondering, did you hear what I said? Now, do you know what's happening at Fifth Street next Sunday?
Being a member of Fifth Street, yes, I do know what's going on. I do know what's going on. I'm so glad you gave me this opportunity to tell you what is going on at Fifth Street Baptist Church on November the 10th, 1985 at 3 o'clock p.m. One of the women whom I consider to be one of the greatest women in the United States, not Oklahoma City, but the United States, will be speaking next Sunday at the Deaconess program. Letty, are you kidding?
Well, I sure didn't know that. And if I had known you were from Fifth Street, I wouldn't have asked you. I would have asked Onita, because I don't believe she belongs over Fifth Street. And I'm wondering if Onita heard me on last Sunday that I said someone special was going to be speaking at 3 o'clock on next Sunday. I believe that's the 10th. At Fifth Street Church. So did we call the person's name? Or maybe we haven't called the person's name, but I wanted it. Onita, did you hear me ask that or announce that on last Sunday?
No, Nettie, I didn't. But what I did hear was an announcement in my church saying that this particular lady would be speaking at the Fifth Street Baptist Church next Sunday evening at 3 o'clock.
Now, we're going on around. I know the audience out there is really, really getting on their toes, wondering who is the speaker and who are we talking about? Because I'm sure they want to know who this speaker is. And they want to know about the time and maybe the address of this church, because probably they have not been up to Fifth Street. But, you know, I've been up to Fifth Street. That's kind of like home to me because I was there so many years before I moved over to where I am now. So maybe I should ask you to tell us, who is this person that we are talking about?
Well, before I tell you who it is, I'll tell you who's given the program, and so that you know that it is top notch. Okay. It's the deacon, deacons and deaconesses of Fifth Street Baptist Church. They wanted no other could do this speech but your own one and only Clara Luper.
Oh, thank you so very, very much. Now, audience, you know what's going to happen to Fifth Street on next Sunday. On next Sunday at 3 o'clock, I know you do not have anything to do. When you go home, go out. You know one thing about Clara, I never can predict what she's going to talk about. You know, I've been with her on a lot of trips, and she'll say, hey, lady, say, you better drive while I get my speech together. And I say, I'm saying while I'm driving. Now, how in the world is Clara going to get a speech together this little distance? But when you get there, it's amazing. It's alarming. It's just fantastic as what she can do and how she can put this speech together and give you so much complete data and dates. So if you don't know, you go back home, you start getting some books and try to find out. Now, let me see. She gave me this date about such a thing. I always take notes on her speech because I can go back and check her out. Because anytime that I can find something that I can get back with her on, Fifth Street, I always try to do it. So now you come on out Sunday, Fifth Street at 3 o'clock, and let's see what Clara Luper is going to tell those deacons and deaconess at Fifth Street Baptist Church.
And I just want to say, please be early. And I think the reason Clara does so well, because this is one lady that has not forgotten from whence she came, and she still believes in her God. So come out early so you can get a seat, because the members of Fifth Street is going to have the church full, so you'd better come out early, Letty.
Well, I'm going to try to get there real early. I might have my husband take me out for dinner so I will not be late, because I don't want a seat on the back. I want to be up close to the front so I can really hear and see what she's talking about, because I know she knows I'm back there taking notes on what she's going to say. Because on last week and week before last, we had some guests on our program that I thought really gave some important information to our community, and especially to the young people, the teenagers, how they should live. They were trying to share with them their mistakes so that they wouldn't walk in the same pit holes and fall into the same gullies and into those old grooves that they fell into before they found themselves. I'm going to put it like that. And it was just so alarmed that he said that he only found Christ when he happened to get into trouble. I'm in hopes that somewhere in her speech that she can tell the young people something that they can do so they won't fall into the pit holes that our last Sunday's guests happened to stumble into. Because, it can bother me, and I was really concerned, and I said, where were you? That you did not get out and sing some song and say some word or gave some prayer, that those young people heard you and turned and went another way instead of on the wrong road. Because it was just a simple thing. It was their peers that were influencing them. And we do know that our peers will outshine the parents any day. But somewhere we should have been touching the peers. We should have touched those young people, because they were young people that were talking to young people. So I don't know about this program that you're talking about today, this health program. But I do know that it can help young people. And it may have some of them that's going astray. From time to time, I get a chance to talk to people and try to change their way and change their thoughts. And even in my community, I'm talking with the children that's in my community, and I try to instill into them that I am somebody, and let's be proud. And let's take care of our community. Let's not go out shooting out our street lights and shooting out the lights of our neighbors. Let's not do that. And if we see someone in our community that's shooting out the street lights and that's shooting out our porch lights, let's stop it so that our community can be a respected community, and a community that we love to look at, and a community that we're going to invite people to come into and to see. So these are the kinds of things that I'm trying to instill into the young people that I see on the streets today. So I hope that they will come to Farces, as you said, and enroll in your health class, because there is a dire need for young people in our health program.
Thank you so very kindly. Certainly, I enjoyed your talking about Clara Luper. I really enjoyed that because there are so many times that people say such nice things about me until I really appreciate it. And I like to hear people say the bad things about me too because that really, it's really interesting. Too much cannot be said about the deaconesses at the Fifth Street Baptist Church and the deacons. I have so much respect for those that have served through the years, and sometimes I feel that our deacons and deaconesses are overlooked. Do they get paid for their work?
I think the pay that they get is that inner satisfaction of knowing that first they're serving God and then they're serving man. And this Sister Mathis, this president, is one of the most marvelous women that I know. I've always respected her. And she, and of course Sister Glovin, Sister Ford, would not rest until they got this woman, this Clara Luper, to be that speaker. And like I said, children, let me tell you, look at Clara Luper's life. Do like Letty says, walk that straight mile. And I assure you, and get all messed up with God instead of drugs. And hey, I assure you, you'll come out another Clara Luper because we need somebody to walk in her footsteps.
And I'm going to challenge all of the parents out there in Radio Land tonight that's listening to us. I'm going to challenge you that you bring your children out. Now, I don't know what Clara's going to talk about, but whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be something that will enlighten your child. And it may be just the right word that she will say that will change your child, and maybe that's not going in the right path. I'm challenging you to bring your children out on next Sunday at 3 o'clock at 5th Street Church. Now, that is 5th Street. You can't miss it because it's on 5th and Phillips, I believe. That's correct. So I'm challenging you parents, and I'm going to see how many are going to bring your child. Just come to hear what she has to say. I don't want you to come to see Clara. I don't want you to come to look at Clara. I wish that she was giving it, that she was behind a mirror, behind a glass, a door, so that you couldn't see her as an individual. But I want you to hear what she has to say to young people, and I'm sure to the deacons and the deaconess of Fifth Street Baptist Church. So put this on your calendar. On the 10th, which is November the 10th, the time is 3 o'clock, and the place is Fifth Street Church, and the speaker is Clara Luper. You have been listening to KAEZ, that's brought to you by Behold the Walls by Clara Luper. So be sure and come out on next Sunday.
Which, like she said, Fifth Street Baptist time and listen to what Clara has to say. And parents, bring your children. Bring your children and listen, because it's a bit late on the way.
Well, now I have two other organizations that I'm going to invite. Not only the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, Amigas, you're out there. I'm expecting to see all the Amigas, our members of the Amigos Club. And that time, Amigas, is 3 o'clock. All right. Also, the Woods neighborhood. The Woods neighborhood is always doing something terrific and some fine jobs. And I read about them, I hear about them through Clara Luper. So I'm going to be looking forward for the Woods Club to come. Woods Club, you're out there. I'm looking for all of the Wood Club members to come there. Gary Hoffman's, the Gary Hoffman's Club, Grayson's, the Grayson's Club. And wait a minute, Clara always tell me she's from Hoffman. Now, all you Hoffman people, now you tell me that you love Clara and you all from Hoffman and you all working together and you're always doing something great. Now, I'm going to be there and I'm going to be up there on the front seat. I'm going to get me a side seat so I can look to back to see who all is coming in. Now, all of these clubs and organizations that I've called, and all of it, and especially those that's from Clara's hometown, that big city down there where Clara is from, I'm going to expect you to be there. All you Grace and Ikes, I'm going to look for you there in 100%. And that Hoffman Club, I don't have to worry about it because she always told me it was just a few. So it won't take me long to count that because she was always something like the 5th in the class, and that was about 5, she said there. So I know all you Hoffman people will be there. Now, Grayson, don't let them be there 100% and you'll be at home saying, I wished I could turn the radio on to listen. because you will not be able to hear her on radio on next Sunday at 3 o'clock. So be sure to come on out to Fifth Street and hear Clara Luper on her program, and she will be addressing the deacons and the deaconess. Now, I haven't asked you what you're going to be doing on next Sunday, because I'm wondering if you too going to be there.
I will have a front seat. I will be sitting right up front because this woman I've always admired ever since I met her. So I will be there. And I too have heard of Hoffman, and I've heard of Grayson. And some of the deacons and deaconesses are from Hoffman and Grayson. So come on out and give her your support. And we at Fifth Street certainly will make you welcome. We'll roll out the welcome mat for you, for the sorority, for her neighborhood clubs, and certainly for the mothers and the children that you should bring to hear Clara Luper. Let them know history. They should know about the history, and this can make them stand a little taller. And so when the pushes come around, then they won't stoop to that. They will have something to say that I am somebody. Clara Luper said that I am somebody. And listen, honey, God doesn't make a mistake. You are somebody.
But that is true. Now, Greyhoff Club, the Greyhoff Club, you were right out there, and I know you're listening to me, all you members of the Greyhoff Club. So now you tell me that you are great, and I think I went to one of your attainments, and I couldn't hardly find a seat because there's so many Greyhoff Club members there. So I'm going to see how many of you Greyhoff Club members is going to be out there on Sunday at 3 o'clock at Fifth Street Church. And I know you're going to come and surprise that pastor, because I want you to let that pastor know that you really do come out and support people that's from your hometown. But, you know, it's not often that we have the privilege of someone that is so great and yet so small. She is so great educationally wise. I remember one time she got out of the educational program and she was writing books and editing magazines. But I could see what she had given to students before she left the program. And I went to this person and I said, now, Clara, you must get back into the educational system. Because I remember when she would put students on radio programs from her history class that no one beat them. And I could see this particular thing falling away and falling back because I could not teach history as Clara taught history. So I said, yes, you will have to get back. I had my friends to talk with her to get her back into the educational system because I felt that our educational system was missing a tremendous person. They needed good people who were going to train and give leadership to our people. And I kept insisting until we finally convinced her that she would go back into the school system. And that I am proud. And I like for her to know this because I know you did not know that we did this kind of a thing. I know there was many times that she'd been pushed back up against the wall and maybe she wanted to say, no, I'll just get out and go on. But I was happy that she did not, that she is staying within the school system because she has something to give to students. And you know, I'm always so alarmed how easily when we meet at NAACP meeting on Monday nights, we'll have our little lesson, and how easy that she can teach students to learn some type of phrase or learn some fact about history. She has a unique way of teaching them, and they never forget it. And that is something that a talent that I do not have, that I wished I had, because I too learned from the same process that she gives to the young people at our NAACP meeting on Monday nights. And it's just surprising what she can do and how hard they will work to learn what she has to offer them. And then from time to time, this is what she is giving them. And this is something that they come eager to learn, because each time they come, they say, now I wonder what is she going to tell us to learn tonight? Is she going to ask us something about the things that we learned a long time ago? So this is what we are so proud of, and this is why I'm so proud of her. Because there are a lot of things that we want to tell people about how proud we are of them, but we wait a little late. And when you say, well, I wished I had told her on yesterday. If I had known, I would have said it day before yesterday. And I'm a person, if what I have to say, good, bad, or indifferent, and I've always tried to teach my students, if you don't have something good to say about someone, just keep it to yourself. Try to find the good in people, and this has always been my philosophy, to find the good in people. And really, they wonder why I go around with Clara. You know, Clara has more good than you can really, really cook up because the things that she does. Personally, I wouldn't do them, but I hope one day that I'll grow in that kind of spirit that she has and grow with that kind of relationship that she has with kids. And not only with kids, with adults and all. Because she really has a winning way with people. And another thing that I want to say about Clara, and I'm just so happy that I can say all of this, she loves to give. Now, Clara's not going to ever be rich because she believes in doing exactly what the Bible told the rich man to do. You remember what he told the rich man when the man wanted to know what he could do. He told him to go sell all his riches, and the man wasn't going to do that, and he didn't. Well, he won't have to ever tell Clara this because she's giving it away as fast as she gets it. Now, if you need a haircut, you go and you can ask Clara. She may not have but $6 in her pocket, but she's going to give you that to get your haircut. Now, I'm talking about what I know and experiences. If you're hungry, just go by there and eat because she will feed you. So don't think that she won't feed you because she will feed you. And if she doesn't have the money, she's going to go proposition the person that's owning a cafe or a restaurant to give you something to eat. Now, this is one thing that I find that she will do, and she does do, and she has done it. So I haven't grown quite that strong, but I'm going to grow that strong. One time a boy came by, he needed some shoes, and the one she had on was run over. Now, I'm telling you the truth. But she took her money and gave it to the little boy to go buy him some shoes to put on his feet. Now, I've just gone through these experiences.
I'm very grateful, and it's really a pleasure to listen to Mrs. Hunter and Mrs. Slaughter. I'm very grateful to them. Calvin, did you hear all the nice things they were saying about your mother?
Mom, you're absolutely right. I heard Mrs. Hunter's AME come out.
You heard Mrs. Hunter's AME?
I heard Mrs. Hunter's AME come out. I could tell she'd been listening to the Right Reverend Bishop Brookins.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, okay.
You can tell Mrs. Hunter that I appreciate what she's saying, too, about a woman that I love, but more especially, not only for what she's done for this community and the state, but because she is my mom. I'm the luckiest person in the world. However, there are several other things going on tonight, you know, and I'm looking forward to next week, though. Next Sunday at Fifth Street Baptist Church, our home church, I know that you will be speaking, and I look forward to that speech because it will be an inspiration not only to those of us who have been knowing you for years, but those people who have heard so much about my sweet mom, Clara Luper. I look forward to it. But, Mom...
Okay, wait, I want to know one thing. How's the photography business?
The photography business is fantastic. The reason it's fantastic is because I do great work, and I'm working with a great person, and together we do great work. And all our pictures are great. And we look forward to seeing a lot of people who have been in front of the cameras of Studio 75 or international photographers. We especially look forward to seeing them, like I say, next Sunday. But then tonight, not at Fifth Street Baptist Church, but at the Odyssey Club at 36 in the Spring Lake Drive, is the finalist on the Gong Show here in Oklahoma City. Now, what the winner will win, the top 10 talent, is not like the Miss Black, it's not like the Mr. Talent. It's fantastic, Mom. You need to come by. You and Mrs. Hunter invited. I expect you all to come by and be my special guest to see some of the fantastic talent group-wise is here in Oklahoma City. There are over 10 groups that will be there, and they will be vying for a trip to Las Vegas with all expenses paid, courtesy of 5 or 6 people who are, trying to make things go here in Oklahoma City to give local talent an opportunity to express themselves and to show themselves. And tonight in about 1 hour, we'll be kicking off, and And we hope that you'll be there because we know it'll be a fantastic thing.
Okay, Calvin, thank you so very, very kindly. And thank you for calling.
Thank you for listening. And tell Miss Hunter, don't let all the AME get out of it, because I'll be there next Sunday to see if your AME will come out in a Baptist.
Well, what are you going to say about Miss Slaughter?
Mrs. Slaughter, well, I know she sings well, and I know she said some beautiful things about my mom, and Mrs. Slaughter is my second mom, so I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing all three of y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Now, for the funeral and death announcement.
Raw Funeral Home announces the following services. Services from Mrs. Ellen Smith of 3349 Northeast 13th will be Monday at 11 a.m. at the Antioch Baptist Church. Funeral service for Mrs. Thelma Rolfe Diggs of 1306 Northeast 47th will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the 5th Street Baptist Church. Services for Mrs. Osina Jackson of 1445 Northeast 12th Street will be Saturday at 11 a.m. at the 5th Street Baptist Church. Raw Funeral Home announces the services of Mr. Wesley Hunter of Oklahoma City is pending with the Raw Funeral Home. Funeral service for Mr. Glenn Heron of 17 Northeast 66 will be Thursday at 11 a.m. at the Wildwood Baptist Church. Temple Funeral Home announces the services of Mrs. Eula Clegg of Oklahoma City is pending with the Temple Funeral Home. McKay Davis announces the services of Mr. Legans Patton of 2817 Northeast 19th will be Monday at 11 a.m. in the McKay Chapel. We would like to say to the families tonight, as we extend to you our deepest sympathy, in pain or bereaved, the Lord said unto us, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. And back to Clara.
Onita, as you went over those death announcements, we lost 2 members of our church this week. Those 2 members will be greatly missed, Mrs. Osenia Jackson and Mrs. Thelma Rolfe Diggs. A few Sundays ago, I dedicated my program to Mrs. Diggs. And as I dedicated my program, after I went off, she said, Clara, I never miss you on radio. I wouldn't miss your radio program for anything. And she said, thank you. And she wanted so badly for me to come and spend some time with her. But some way I believe that today we are in direct contact, because I believe that Mrs. Diggs and Mrs. Jackson are in heaven. And some way they know that everything is going to be all right. Yes, Onita, those were our friends, and now they are gone. This portion of our program is brought to you by Haywood Hill. Did you know Haywood Hill has moved to the 1911 Northeast 23rd Street? He's just moved up the street on a different side. Now, Haywood Hill is a young businessman that can sell carpet, any kind, any length. You want linoleum, don't worry about a thing. Leave it to Haywood Hill. 1911 Northeast 23rd Street. Now, something else that Haywood Hill has added, and that is a real estate company. So you can buy your carpet and buy a house all at the same time. I went up and talked to Haywood, and certainly I was surprised at the different kinds of loans that are available now. So whatever you do, I want you to go by Haywood Hills, 1911 Northeast 23rd Street, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is a time of year that we nominate Bachelors of the Year. I have some surprises for the 1985 Bachelor because, as many of you know, the Bachelor of the Year always receives prizes, over $100 worth of clothes. And you say that's not much, but if I give you $100 and tell you to go buy you some socks, just think how many pair of socks you could buy. Now, it's time for the nominations to come in. Now, this is the direction. I want you to write Bachelor of the Year contest. And that's to my attention, Clara Luper, KAEZ Radio, Post Office Box 11106, area code 73111. Now, all you handsome bachelors down at Wewoka that's been calling me, this is your chance. Now, I can't take your name on telephone because the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm going to have you to write it down. Now, you bachelors in Oklahoma City, don't jump down my back and say I'm picking bachelors. Get somebody to nominate you for the Bachelor of the Year. Now, let me go to my definition of a bachelor. A bachelor is someone who is not married at this time. You can be a widow, then, according to my definition, you're a bachelor. You can be a divorcee, then you're a bachelor. But one thing, I want my bachelors to have character. I want my bachelors to be outstanding. I wouldn't dare call your name if you were not an outstanding bachelor. Now, my bachelors get married, and maybe I'm bringing the people together. I'm going to take you bachelors, and some of you have called me and say you're rich. That's good. But I want you to be rich in love and rich in understanding. I don't want no old snuff dipping bachelor to be calling us, telling us that you want a wife and don't have a penny. Now, you can't get no wife, and you can't get on this bachelor's list. Now, this bachelor's list is out of sight, and it looks like this year I'll have another bachelor's dinner where people can meet my handsome bachelors. My bachelors are out of sight. Now, all of you young ladies, and middle-aged ladies and old ladies sit around talking about there's no good men. You are telling a story. This nation is full of good men. America's a land of good men, of handsome men, of outstanding bachelors. Now, that's why I want you to nominate them, and they come in all colors, all sizes, and all weights. This is a 1985, and this will be the greatest bachelor contest that has ever been sponsored in the history of my Bachelor of the Year programs. Now, don't be modest. If you're a bachelor and you got a job, you got retirement, you're able to take care of a lady, be sure and contact me. But I don't want anybody saying I'm looking for somebody to take care of me. Who in the world are you men out there think going to take care of you? That's your job, to take care of somebody. And certainly, it is a pleasure for me today to invite you to read my book, Behold the Walls by Clara Luper. As yet, it's the best book that's been written on the civil rights movement, and I shall have the opportunity to appear on a panel with other civil rights leaders on Tuesday at the Ralph Ellison's Library. Tomorrow, a young man from South Africa at 7 o'clock will be speaking at the Ralph Ellison's Library. The NACP Youth Council will meet at 6:30 p.m., and many representatives will go down to hear this young man talk about South Africa. Now, speaking of South Africa, I had the opportunity, along with Lady Ruth Hunter and C.C.L. Williams, the state president of NACP, to meet with Dr. Horton, the president of Oklahoma University, where we expressed our view concerning the university's connection with businesses and investments in South Africa. We do not like it. Now, in South Africa, they practice by law apartheid, which means white supremacy. The South Africa is divided up into the Afrikaners, the whites, the colored, the blacks, the Indians, and the Asians. And everybody is very sensitive. And you have to be careful how you use the word white. I want to be white like somebody else. I want to be whiter than snow and all of that. People take that. And if you were in Africa and you would use those kind of terms, of the blacks and the colored would kill you immediately, because that has certain implications that white is right. Well, I know what. I don't want to be white as snow, but I want to be black, and I want to have a heart, and I believe that a black heart can make it to heaven. Clara Luper reporting KAEZ Radio in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I have something to tell my guest today. I want to tell you about some meat. That's exactly what I want to tell my guest about, some meat, because I know you want to eat some meat. Now, how many of you out there in Radio Land whose religion will let you eat meat? Well, I tell you what, I'm a Baptist and my religion allows me to eat meat. And I've always had a problem because meat's been too high for me to eat like I want to. I really wanted some T-bone steaks and some sirloins and, oh, New York special. And I found a place where I could get some meat. I found a place where I could get some meat. And yeah, and I know you want to ask me a question.
Where is that place that you can get some meat, Clara?
Some meat at my price. Now I'm talking about at my price, and also it's delicious. It's the most delicious meat I've come across in Oklahoma City.
Well, I hope it's that if it's at your price, it's at my price, and I want to know where that place is.
Before I tell you, I went to another store in the northeast side of Oklahoma City, and I picked up a steak. And I'm telling you, I put it down immediately because I knew I couldn't afford it. And I just happened to have gone to this other meat place, and in place of buying one steak, I bought one for my husband, CP, one for my daughter, Shelly, and one for myself. We had 3 steaks, and we did not spend as much money as we would have spent for that one steak at another store.
Clara, my mouth is watering. Please do not keep me in suspense. You said it's here on the east side. You went to another place where you bought 3 steaks for the price of one steak at this place. I must know where that is.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. It's a young man in Oklahoma City whose name is Cole, and that's spelled capital C-O-L-E. Many of you will remember him from Crest Market because he used to cut meat out there. He's a butcher. He came to the east side last week and opened, for the convenience of the east side people, a meat company at 1100 Northeast 36th Street. 1100 Northeast 36th Street. Now let me tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go into Cole's Meat Company, Cole's Butcher Company, and I want you to look around and look at that meat. Take home some meat. I'm talking about bacon. I'm talking about sausage. I'm talking about all kinds of meat. Today was a historical day in the history of the Tabernacle Baptist Church. And incidentally, I hated to leave, but I knew I had to leave Tabernacle some few minutes ago and come here and be with you. Tabernacle Baptist Church has installed its 14th pastor, the Reverend John Lewis Mashak of Waco, Texas, has been installed as a pastor of the Tabernacle Baptist Church. The church was filled to capacity as members, friends, and fellow churches entered at 3 o'clock p.m. Raphael Hutton did a prelude, and finally Reverend C.C. Carroll, the pastor of the Emmanuel Baptist Church, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, read the scripture. That was a prayer. And it was a prayer that was heartwarming, that was delivered by Reverend E.J. Perry, the pastor emeritus of the Tabernacle Baptist Church. Reverend Perry prayed so softly, so tenderly, and so sincere. He thanked God for that church with its long history. And in days like these, he said, "Thank you, God." Mr. George M. Richardson gave the occasion in which he outlined in details for the audience what this big gathering was all about. The Tabernacle Baptist Church's choir, some 43 strong, sang. And then a young man, not over 13 years old, Ambry Mosley, stood and greeted everyone. He told the audience that this was a very special occasion and thanked everyone for coming. There were proclamations from Governor Nye, from Mayor Coates, and from Shirley Darrell. There was music selection by the 45-member choir from the Tabitha Baptist Church, and a litany of thanksgiving and commitment was led by Deacon T.C. Howard. Reverend W.B. Parker introduced the guest speaker. He spoke of Reverend Jackson in a family way. He asked a question, can anything good come out of Boley? And certainly Reverend W.K. Jackson came not out of Boley, but out of the country part of Boley, out from Boley. Then St. John walked in, St. John's Baptist Church, 55-member choir, 41 deacons, deaconesses from all descriptions. And Reverend W.K. Jackson had St. John Baptist Church to stand, and it looked like the whole church was standing. That Reverend W.K. Jackson is a master maneuver. Reverend W.K. Jackson is a master O. And he says that he would know that I would call him a master O, but certainly he says that he does not do it. He lets God do it. In fact, he said, talk is easy, but it takes money to buy land. Reverend W.K. Jackson was talking about Jeremiah. He was also talking about Jesus and explaining what it really means to be a pastor. I had to leave, but I want you out in radio land to know that today is a big day. And the Meshach's parents were here. Mrs. Meshach, who's a twin, her twin brother was here from Dallas, along with her parents and a large number of people from the church that Reverend Meshach pastored. Well, I would like to wish the Tabernacle family a lot of success as they enter a new area with their 14th pastor. And I do hope that the fact that Reverend Meshach is in Oklahoma City, I'm sure that it will make a difference in this city. Now, I've been asking some questions, and many of you have called me from Moon School saying that you didn't have a vocal teacher. Don't call me, call Brother Muse. So many of you have gone to Garden Oak School, and you tell me they don't have but 3 whites out there. Don't call me, call Brother Muse. That's your board member. Now, we told you that these schools are going to turn back and be segregated schools. And we can hardly wait for somebody from the Board of Education to come out here and tell you, the black people in Oklahoma City, to vote a bond issue. Now, the big question is, will they come? And what will they have to offer to this black community? I don't know about the Equity Committee. I don't know. I know Lady Ruth Hunter. We wanted Lady to get on that committee. Are you on that Equity Committee?
No, I'm not on the Equity Committee, and I'm understanding that they met. I want to know who are they. And I'm asking Mr. Muse if he's listening to us, if he would let me know who they are.
Well, I know who they aren't. I know Lady Ruth Hunter is not on that Equity Committee. As I look at the clock on the wall, I know it's time for me to say goodbye, but I hate to say goodbye to you because we've been together so long, and I really love you. I shall see you next week. And those of you that have some spare time, I would like for you to visit with me on Saturdays from 2:30 to 3 on KBYE. I'm doing a special out there, and don't miss Cecil Williams. He's out there at 3 o'clock p.m. every day. Clara Luper saying goodbye to you, and those of you that want to be in Miss Black Oklahoma, you better sign up, and you better sign up for Soul Bazaar 85. And wherever you go and whatever you do, remember I love you. And certainly I have some sad news for some preachers. Mount Carmel has elected a pastor, and you've been left out. He is Reverend Mays from Hobart, Oklahoma. Clara Luper saying goodbye there.